I think it's worth reminding yourself when you are easily discouraged by seeing other people, especially in the age of social media, just other people succeeding or being happy or whatever it might be. And you compare your life to theirs and you think, that you are way behind. Uh, One, it's good to remind yourself that we are naturally comparative creatures, right? There was that study that found that basically people would rather a lower salary where their friends have even lower salaries than taking a higher absolute salary, but in a life where their friends have even higher salaries, right? So people would rather be the top dog than the absolute dog, if that makes sense. Like they would be absolutely worse off, but relatively better off than their social circle. So once you remind yourself of that, it can take some of the pressure away because you realize this is just normal and you don't necessarily have to succumb to it. It's just your initial instinct. The second thing to remember is that you are not competing with the other people on the same metrics, right? You have other things you care about, and you are probably in the top 1% of something, multiple somethings, very likely, right? Because the reality is almost nobody is in the top 1% of everything. And the metrics that you should care about are the ones that impact your life most for the goals and values you have. So if you don't care about whatever it might be, right? Your academic scores, but you do care about how well you do at your job, then focus on that. And don't worry about someone else's academic scores or even how well they do at their job because their job's different from yours. It's a completely different skill set, and you are focusing on what you can control so that you can improve on it. And what you'll find is the more that you focus on the things that you can actually control, the more they will grow and improve, and the closer you'll get to becoming exceptional and extraordinary at whatever you're focusing on. And I think once you get into that virtuous cycle of focusing on what you can control, the other stuff falls into the background. You no longer really worry about what other people have. And I think this naturally happens as you get older. We just, you compare less and less, you become more grateful for what you have. And I think contentment is sort of the key theme here in terms of being grateful for what you have, being satisfied with what you have, knowing that it's enough. And then, funnily enough, I think contentment leads to more abundance and growth than desire and raw sort of wanting, right? Yearning. Because the more you feel a sense of lack and emptiness around what you have, the more vigorously you'll pursue it. That's true, but also the more insecure you'll be and the more difficult it will be, the more effort and sort of grindiness will be involved. Where when it's a natural sense of contentment, then abundance just flows simply because you are living your best life, right? You're being your best self, you're in alignment with your values, you're doing what you think is best on a daily basis simply because you want to and you love to, not because it's a means to an end to achieve something, but you don't really want to be doing it. You don't really want to be there. So I think that's something I've learned is try to build a life you actually want to live. Try to be where you actually want to be rather than forcing yourself into a bunch of situations where you don't want to be. And then you're like subconsciously looking for ways out. And that's, where self-sabotage and other things can start. So just focus on what you can control, focus on what you want to be doing, and invest deeper in that. And you'll find it won't really matter what anyone else does.